All right, guys. So 6 days. Today is Saturday. We put that liquid nitrogen down last Sunday. 6 days later, been a lot of growth through here. So we're gonna mow this tomorrow. But tonight, we're gonna go down with some root booster, and I'll mix that up and then show you guys me spraying it. All right. So this is product we're getting ready to go down with. Picked it up off of Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys. 100 is the what they're calling for is 1% nitrogen. The big stuff that we want though is right here, the microbial content and the humic acids. It's only about 5% microbials and 4% humic acids, but we're only treating about 4,000 square feet, so this should do a good job treating that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up in a 5-gallon bucket, and then I'll dump it in my sprayer, and we'll go back and spray that area. All right. Go ahead and start putting some water in here, and then hopefully not spray it everywhere else. Supposedly, this stuff is going to stink really bad because of the microbial activity, but I'm going to give it a good little shake before we dump it in here. Make sure there's nothing stuck to the bottom. And we'll dump it in. We're also going to throw a little bit of nitrogen in this mix, just because the whole purpose of going with such a low rate of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet is to spoon feed your lawn. So I went with an eighth of an ounce, eighth of a pound per 1,000 last time. I'm going to go about the same this time. It took me 3 of these little cups to get that, so that's what I'm going to go with. 1, 2, 3, and an eighth of a pound is a conservative amount of nitrogen. Generally, you can take about a pound of nitrogen per month on Bermuda. So I'm going with an eighth of a pound every week. That's a half pound a month. So we're well within the safe. If we were pushing more towards a pound, if we were trying to push a little bit beyond that, I would be much more careful measuring that out. I'm just going to give this a little stir. Make sure everything's nice and incorporated. I picked this up at Lowe's. I may try to grind a little. Let me find another bit real quick. This is your typical bit that goes in your impact right. This is what they've got for us. So I may try and grind this little notch right here into this one, because right now it'll fall out of my impact if I hold it, straight up and down, which I don't like that. So I might try and grind a little in there so that it'll latch in the same way a regular bit would. Dump this in here. I honestly was expecting that dirt booster to be a lot more brown than it is. I mean the root booster. So hopefully this does what they say it does. It had good reviews on Amazon. If it sucks, obviously, I'll tell y'all next week that it sucked and not to waste your money on it. But hopefully Hopefully it does everything they're supposed to do. And then, as always, when you put fresh chemicals in your backpack sprayer, I'm gonna go ahead and spray it through. Make sure that you're not just spraying water for the first 10 feet that you walk or whatever. So that's probably good. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in the backyard. So when I spray, I like to do a pass around the outside of the yard first, or outside of the area first. This is the only area that I'm spraying because I don't have anything else that I'm trying to get to grow anywhere else in this yard. And I know that there's a ton of weeds here. I'm well aware. But right now, if you don't know, we seeded this Bermuda about 4 weeks ago now. And obviously had all those weeds pop up when the grass started popping up too. But my goal right now is to get the Bermuda growing nice and healthy and strong. That way I can come in here with some post-emergence and clean up the rest of it. Oh shit, guys. I just realized I forgot my PPE. Give me 1 second. Got my PPE on so we can pick back up. It's very important when you're spraying chemicals. Wear your PPE. So the mycorrhizal fungi, which are the microbes that's in here, have a symbiotic relationship with really all plants that grow. And what they do is they trade sugar from your plant for nutrients to the plant. So the mycorrhizal fungi have much smaller, or not root systems, but that's essentially what they act like. And they attach to the roots of the plant and help your grass get nutrients that it otherwise wouldn't be able to get. And in return, the plant gives the fungi some sugars. So there's tons of videos on how all that works. I'm not going to get all into it, but that's why you want these microbes in your yard, is to help your grass get nutrients that it otherwise wouldn't be able to get. There we go. I wish you guys got to enjoy this smell with me. I hope my wife lets me sleep in the bed tonight. There we go. That's down. We'll go ahead and crank these sprinklers for about 20 minutes. All right, y'all seen how sprinklers work. I'm not going to bore you with any more of that. But tomorrow, we're going to cut this for the first time. So stay tuned. We're going to cut it tomorrow. And then we're probably going to cut it just about every day following that, because we want this Bermuda to outcompete as much of the stuff as possible. Obviously, there's still going to have to be a bunch of post-emergent herbicides put down, but as much as possible, we're going to get this Bermuda to outcompete this doveweed and all this other crap that's growing back here. So I'll see y'all in the morning. This is a Walker C19i. It's got the deck out front, which helps prevent scalping. It's an old unit. It's got hour meter says 3,000 hours, but I don't think it works anymore. So it's got a lot of hours on it. But to adjust it, get to pull these cotter pins out, and I'm gonna go second to tallest to start. We're gonna make one pass like this, and then we'll drop it down, and we'll make a pass. This is what it looks like. Obviously doesn't look fantastic, but better than it did before, maybe. So with Bermuda grass, the more often you cut it, the more it will expand laterally, because it learns that it can't expand vertically. So we're going to try and cut this every day. No guarantee. We're going to try and cut it every day, though, and get it to fill in. So, yep, that's what it looks like. And now it's time to go empty these grass clippings out. all, guys. But this is where I dumped all the clippings, and then I mixed them up with the existing clippings. I want this stuff to break down so we can spread it back out over the yard and get all the benefits of the nutrients that are in it without having to worry about the weed seeds and that kind of stuff. Because when compost, as it breaks down, it heats up, and the heat will kill all the weed seeds. So I'm gonna let that do its thing, and we're gonna be on to the next thing. So we've got an ant problem. So I picked up some of this stuff yesterday, which kills all listed lawn damaging insects. It's ants, roaches, armyworm, ticks, crickets is what it says it'll kill. Fly at a rate of 0.8 pounds per 1,000 square feet. I picked this up at Lowe's. It was on sale for $6. It says it'll treat 12,500 square feet. I've got about 18,000 square feet of grass. So we go a little heavy on the rate, which it says you can apply it up to 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So shouldn't be an issue. This is what it's going to look like. That little slot down there. That's about the opening size we're going for. So I'm going to start with this stuff in the backyard, because that's where a major problem is, and that's also where the pool is, and they're getting in the pool, which is really, really fun to deal with all the time. So we're going to start in the back. That way if I run out, it's in the front. We're supposed to get some rain this afternoon too, which makes this the perfect time to throw this stuff down, because you really want to get it watered in as much as possible, but I don't want to run water on the whole yard, so I'll let nature take care of that for me. Let me show you guys this nasty little pile of ants. All of these are flying ants that came out of my pool filter. So that's the point of putting this crap out, trying to get those things to die instead of dying in my pool, because it's a pain in the rear end to pull that filter apart and do all that. Go ahead and open this thing up the rest of the way. I don't have very much left. So that's down. That 4.5 or 3.5 actually